whole rhetorical statement, or it's not something that is just flavorful, or can I say this? It is not something that is just stylish for the holidays, but in fact, it is a sector in which something should process in us to make us reflect on who Jesus is and where we are and how we need him. Because if Jesus is the reason for the season, the four changes in the climate, then therefore that means when it's hot, Jesus is still Jesus. When it's cold, Jesus is still Jesus. When it's windy, Jesus is still Jesus. When it's pretty outside, Jesus is still Jesus. In other words, regardless of what occurs on the outside, exteriorly, the interior of us still ought to say, Jesus is still Jesus. We still ought to be trusting in Jesus. We still ought to be living for Jesus. We should not allow our focus to be so impacted by our problems that it affect our praise, because Jesus is the reason for the season. The Bible tells us, in all things give thanks. So regardless of what is occurring outside, and can I go a little deeper? Regardless of what's occurring outside that is out of our control, our praise should remain. Our praise should remain. Instead of saying Jesus is the reason for the season as a defense mechanism, a lot of the people have got the consumption of feeling like, okay, you got to be all perky. You got to buy all these crazy gifts. You got to do all this big things. How many people have really paid attention? You can buy children all the gifts that your money wouldn't even allow you to, because there are a lot of people that are getting debt with loans right now, try to get this whole dreamy Christmas. And come February, the children are not even going to focus on those gifts. They're not even going to remember where they put them at, because they're going to be on to something else. But what I'm saying is, we get so caught up with trying to appear a certain way or look a certain way, that we have got to accustom of people pleasing and no longer God pleasing. In other words, we have